Hey, welcome to our catamaran. This is Tomcat. It's an Aventura 37. We're going to give you a tour of the outside of the boat and the rigging and topsides. Okay, so this is the cockpit. It's probably standard as far as catamarans go. I do think the layout's pretty nice because you got a little sun lounger over there, which is great. Table is simple. It's not a heavy wood one, and it's easy to keep clean. It also lowers if you want to, and then you can kind of scoot the cushions out on it. Got a couple little drink holders and a groove here for your cell phone or tablet. That's always fun. And then they got a few teak accents, which is great. Keely and I talked about, do we want to put something like an easy deck or that kind of foam decking? And maybe in the future we will do that. Right now, we're just going to keep it simple. And let me start showing you a few things. I want to show you the back lazarette, or the back bench here. Got to take the cushions off real quick, not too hard. And underneath here we've got a couple of propane tanks and then just storage. So we put our water maker in there. I've got a big tow line in there just because we're going to be doing a crossing, and I thought it would be nice as a drogue or something in case we need to slow down. So you got quite a bit of space there. I do know that Aventura offers, they offer a barbecue over here underneath the helm chair, and we decided we didn't want that, but it would be right here, and then you have a lid that you can lift up. I would have still liked the lid because if you could take the barbecue out and there'd be maybe some space in there for some scuba equipment or whatever. Okay, so some simple stuff, like up here we've got some little LED lights. It's nice at night. And then a couple of speakers. That's kind of standard stuff. You might want to know, if you're looking at all of these benches in here, there's absolutely no storage under them. So if you're thinking, gosh, is there storage under those? There's none. Just hard molded, no storage. Why don't I show you the engine bay over here? Okay, so a lot of times I think on some of the videos they show you the engine. I'll just get in here. It's a Yanmar 30 horsepower with a sail drive right here. In the engine bay, it's relatively nice. You can get in here. See if I can not confuse everybody. Okay, there we go. Battery. That's the freshwater here, the freshwater shower on the outside. Inside you can see the auto helm, auto helm right here. This is the steering linkage. And then the rudder is going in here. Not too much. You got some through bulkhead stuff there, going for the water heater and some, whatever else. And this is, let's go up there. He's gonna kill me because I'm not a good videographer. Anyway, this is just vent for the engine compartment. So this is the starboard side. The port side is just identical, with the exception maybe the auto helm's not there, right here, and neither is this freshwater shower hose that pulls out. Okay, beautiful engine bay. I think it's relatively easy to work on. However, the dipstick's way up here in the front, and the alternator, some of this stuff is way up here in the front. But there's some space. Okay, a few little items. Here again is the freshwater shower. It just pulls out. And you got hot and cold. Take a shower out here, or just hose off after you've gone for a dip. That's pretty nice, actually. The swim ladder is good. You just take the bungee off, whatever. This extends out and then you throw it down. That's very handy. Need that to get back on the boat. And then here's the davits. I do like the davits. I think they're strong. Feel like they went over the top with these two little Harken winches. I've not usually seen such an elaborate setup like that, but I do appreciate it. You've got, the pulley or the line to hoist your dinghy back up has got a couple of blocks on it, so it's compounding your lifting. Very over the top. Some guys here in the marina kind of made fun of me because I had winches on my dinghy davits, but at least they're not electric. We've got two electrical hookups, and we've had the boat now for 3 months and have not used them because our boat is United States spec electrical system. And so we're still in Europe. Everything they use is the 220 or 230 volt, the 50 hertz, and it just doesn't work with anything we have in the boat. So basically we're still relying on our generator to live off of, and thankfully it's warmer now so we don't have to use the heaters so much. But until we get to the States, those things are just going to still remain capped. If everybody's wondering, this is just the automatic bilge pump. There's a handle inside, and you stick that in, it's for emergencies. And then maybe I'll just quickly show on this side, just so you know, pretty standard, but we've got a diesel fuel fill right here. And then that's same on the other side. And then we also have our freshwater fill. And that's exactly the same on the other side. So two sides, both of them got to be filled up. The water tanks have a valve that you can switch back and forth. Fuel tanks do not. And then right here you've got, this is for access to the rudder, the top of the rudder, and you can stick your emergency rudder handle in here. Same and as starboard side. And then this is an emergency access to the engine compartment in case there's a fire in your engine bay, and you can just shove a fire extinguisher in there and discharge it to try and extinguish whatever fire that might be. I think that's about it for the cockpit. Okay, this is the starboard side going up. Here's where I get all boring. I put this up here. It's for an engine, for like your dinghy. You can put your engine right here to store it. I feel like it's a little wimpy, so I don't usually put an engine up here when we're underway. But in the marina or whatever, if I need to take it off and work on the dinghy or whatever, then it is kind of handy, so I just left it. This area is fantastic. It's a little sunbed. It's access here to the coach roof. It's very nice. You've got, I mean, you can sit up here and just, you know, watch as we sail down, just cranking off the miles. Very comfortable for passengers. And then I put a fishing rod holder, but I shoved the Starlink antenna in there. It works great. So, pretty nice. This is just a choice little spot for this boat. Just a great little thing. And then here on the sun lounger, we also, we removed just a couple of cushions so you can kind of see a little more on the side when you're sitting at the helm. But there's 2 more cushions there that go on the side. Make it a nice little protected pit. Now I've got 2 panels for solar. Each one is supposed to be 120 watts. And, you know, it's I have not seen more than 200 watts coming into the boat. But, you know, it helps. Super sunny day, it'll help charging up batteries. You know, I guess if you look at it collectively, it can run a few of the LED lights in the boat. But, you know, it's better, I think, than not having it. Obviously, you could go, you know, really wild and cover the whole boat with solar. But that was offered from the manufacturer, and we opted to take it. So it was nice because, you know, you've got the infrastructure there, the wiring and all that, in case you want to go for a future upgrade. Okay, so now we're going forward. It's quite nice here. I've got a lot of storage actually in the front. I'll lift up this one here. This is more for, I've got toys in there. So I do have the dinghy taken apart. I've got that stored. We got some silly chairs. I've got extra propane bottle in there, and I've even got some jerry cans ready to go for extra diesel. You know, I could even fit some more sails in there and stuff like that. It's got, just for that little locker, there's lots of space. And then for the larger one here, I got storage now on this side, which is even larger. I've got cleaning supplies in there. I don't know, lines. Oh, I got the motor for the dinghy. It's in there. And then here's the anchor windlass. Again, you can operate it here if you want, or you can operate it from the helm station or even inside the cabin. And don't ask me how many feet of chain, because I forgot. The anchor's right here in the middle instead of way out on the bow sprit. And to get the bridle on, you do have to kind of reach your arm through here and attach it to the chain. That's not that difficult. Possibly more challenging is hooking the bridle onto the front of the boat. There's some D-rings on the end of the, what is that thing called? They call it a longeron, but what the heck is it called? Cross member? Anyway, okay. And then lastly, on each little bow, we've got these little lockers. I usually just store the fenders in there. I'm sure you could put sails if you wanted to, but the fenders are great. You know, I've got, 8 fenders, and then take up most of that space. And then if you can see also, there's a big blue tank. That's the black water tank in there as well. So you can access that. Waste pump out access here. This is starboard. Port's over there. That's nice. It's not in our kitchen, like some places, some other boats. And let's see. I think some people have noticed that there's not a seat here for the princess chairs or dolphin chairs, whatever you call them, because it would interfere with this. I feel like maybe you could possibly set up something, but so far it's not bad, because look at this. You can just sit here, and that's pretty nice. I don't need a seat, but, make each boat your own. So we've got some sails on this boat. I've got, this is a downwind sail, and it kind of is like a big butterfly. It just flies out, and it's easy when the wind's right behind you. That was an option to get this bowsprit and this setup. The sail I special ordered from Elvstrom. It wasn't really through the manufacturer, but I just knew I was going to need it when we crossed. And then this is our Genoa, and it also acts, the core there acts as the forestay for the main mast. If you want to look here on the main mast, and maybe go up. I don't know what the rigging setup is when it's kind of a triangle spars shooting out, and maybe you can go up and show that. So anyway, that most catamarans, that kind of limits how much you can use your mainsail for downwind sailing, because the side shrouds really, they'll hit up against that. But fortunately, we have a nice big Genoa and then a nice downwind sail to take care of that. You can see we've got a radar there. I thought that would be important for coming across the Atlantic and avoiding squalls, especially at nighttime. Can kind of see what's coming up. Courtesy flag. There is a light right underneath the radar that is not only for steaming, but down below it also just shines on the deck. So that's handy. And then you got kind of the standard stuff at the very top of the mast, the wind vane, the weather vane, and some of the other instruments, the radio antenna. And that's about it. Lazy jack system on the mainsail. And then maybe we should go talk about all the rigging now and how to sail this boat. Okay, so let's see what else. I got, a furler for the Genoa, and you can see the line coming there. Kind of wraps around here on the port side. Okay, and I've got another furler for this downwind sail. The downwind sail is called the Blue Water Runner. I do like it. But anyway, it's got a continuous loop furler. And the best way I could think of to run this was kind of coming over to the corner, and then it's bungeed there to one of the stanchions. I think I would prefer maybe if my continuous line furler was a lot longer and I could run it up to my winches. That might be an upgrade in the future. But this seems to work. I noticed in order to keep it from unfurling, I just kind of twist the continuous line, and then I put it on this little guy right here, so you can undo it like that. So that's how you'd undo it. So then you just wrap it back here. Okay, let's head now to maneuvering station. Oh, if you look, I've got an orange line here that's just set up for when we cross, and you can clip onto it with your life preserver and your harness line, your safety line on your harness. Okay, so you might be interested, I've got quite a few sheets. I got sheets for my Genoa, I got these black sheets for the downwind sail, and they all come down, they run port starboard, but everything then goes to this port side to this maneuvering station. So here's the Genoa sheets. Right here, these blue lines. And I usually use this winch. However, I can kind of be creative and bring them over to this other winch. This other winch is the electric winch. So I got one electric winch. The sheets for that downwind sail right here, these black lines, they're kind of more, routed differently. They go way back to the back because they've got to come, they got to come way out to the side and then come up. So they go to the back through some pulleys and stuff, and then they actually come right here. And then these little skinnier lines are for the main traveler. So everything kind of comes right here. This is the entire maneuvering center. I don't have any winches anywhere else. The only maybe the exception is the furler for the Genoa. It's got a clutch down there, or a cam that I've got to, undo or take off, whatever. And then a few blocks. Sometimes I play around with the blocks for the downwind sail. But other than that, this is everything. Okay, so everything I've tried to label. Main halyard. I've got my downwind sail halyard right here, and the main sheets right here, and first, second, third reefs right here. Everything leads up that way. Got the Genoa sheet here, there, then that downwind sail sheets and the travelers. All easy. And then rope bag control for the electric winch. Oh, I like it. I don't have any problems with this setup. You can get creative a little bit on how you route things, but it's nice. Okay, so Bimini has been really nice. We've got everything rolled up in preparation for warmer weather crossing, but it was great in the winter. It's great for rain. You got to keep the vinyl, clear vinyl clean so you can see out. But boy, it helps with cold, windy nights or all kinds of ocean spray. I do enjoy the Bimini. And then, keeps the sun off. It's got a nice window, look at sails. It's nice. I really like the Bimini. Got a life raft behind us in case you were wondering what that is. I put suction cup mounted iPad mount, so I can check on windy, I can check on wind. I do have a sort of night vision camera that just works off of Wi-Fi, so I can pull up that image here as well. And then here's the helm. We'll kind of show you the helm station. Okay, so this is the helm station. I love my kind of European looking black steering wheel. I think that's beautiful. I do like that. The chart plotter and the rest of the instruments mimic down below in the nav station, except for this chart plotter is larger. So I've got the chart plotter with all the same access to all the boat features, all the lights, the stereo, all that stuff here. This is the autopilot, and then this is all my wind information. In case you're wondering, this is how you control the engines, start them, turn them on. I got confused, so I had to label myself because I couldn't figure out which is which. But anyway, here's all the engine control, and then the two throttles. One thing I do like about this, I'm going to jump around. So if I need to back up to a dock, like med mooring, or just control, I can run this way also. It's just like a tank. I'll set the steering wheel to neutral and lock it, and I got both of my engines, and I can pivot 360. I can go forward, backwards, and from I can see just about everything from this angle, or I can just swing back around and do it standard. I love being able to swing around like this. I think that's just super easy and super safe. You've got also a USB here for phone, tablets, whatever. The radio plugs into here. I've got it out right now. And then there's a ton of storage here for drink. I've got drinks, big gulps, I guess. This just pops off a little teak lid, and you got storage for binoculars or gloves or whatever else That was a nice feature. And I believe that's just about it. So that's our tour of Tomcat. And we have one additional thing to say. If you are interested, if you live in the Texas area, specifically maybe Houston, but if you live, close to Houston, we're going to put Tomcat into a membership charter program called Sail Time. Yeah, Sail Time Houston. And what that allows you to do is, it's like a fractional membership. So you buy in, and you gives you the right to charter the boat, and it just depends on what level you purchase, but usually you can do it about a month. There are less and there are more.
You get 3 to 14 days a month,
right?
Depending on what level of membership you buy. It makes it really nice because if you want to have access to a boat but don't really want the hassle of like owning and slip fees and insurance and all of that's taken care of, and you have access to a really nice boat, all newer ones.
And they'll train you too. That's part of their program. They have American Sailing Association classes, so they train you before you go. You don't have to be worried like, I don't know how to sail. They'll train you so you can be confident and take out the boat. If you're interested in seeing what this boat's like, and maybe you want to buy something like this, or you're just shopping around. Maybe you like monohulls. They've got that too. So that's kind of our little plug for Sail Time, because we do. And
we've had a blast on our boat. So if you're interested in our boat, there are some memberships available.
Yeah, it's going to be down. Their base is in Kemah, Texas, which is just south of Houston, up from Galveston. It's very pretty. It's
Sail Time Houston.
Yeah, it's called Sail Time Houston. So check them out if you're interested.
Yeah.
Life is just a party, and it's right here.